I'm Evelyn. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So, we are building a tiny house today. I was sitting down yesterday trying to figure out what to build for today. I knew that it had to be something smaller. I have been doing some bigger builds lately, so I felt like it was about time to do something just a little bit smaller at least. And it hit me that I haven't done a career-oriented or career-inspired tiny house for a while. I had this little almost like a series going on at some point, but I just kind of forgot about them, I suppose, or something. I'm not really sure what happened. I enjoyed doing those though, so you might see a couple of those going up on the channel throughout December. And this one was actually supposed to be for a detective, which I have done before, but it's a long time ago. It's like back in May or April or something like that, so it's a long time ago. Way earlier in this year. And I just felt like doing another one, but when I started with the interior, it hit me that it didn't really feel like a detective's house. So I was trying to feel around and see what kind of vibes I was getting from the interior, and I felt like it was I felt like I was leaning towards an architect instead. I don't think we have that career in The Sims, correct me if I'm wrong. I honestly don't remember every single career that we have because we have a lot. And I also don't really play the game, like do gameplay. I build, which is also arguably, playing the game since it's a part of the game, but I don't really do gameplay, so I am never reminded of what careers we have. I always have to go look it up, so I just don't really remember. But I'm pretty sure architect is not one of them. However, just because they're not in The Sims does not mean we can't do fun builds inspired by the careers, so I decided to do this one today, and it ends up being for an architect. I think I've also done for a kindergarten teacher before teachers were a thing in The Sims, which they weren't for a long time, which doesn't make any sense because teachers are super like normal to have in a community. Like how else are you gonna get different educations and stuff without teachers? So could you imagine, all our Sims haven't been educated until Discover University came out. None of our Sims have had educations. What? And I'm not saying you can't get a job without an education, obviously, but something like a doctor, which you've been able to be for a long time. You've had a lot of doctors in The Sims that haven't had educations. That's a little risky, I want to say. So, yeah. Anyway, going off on a tangent. Today's house is for an architect. I know we could probably have done some funnier things with the exterior, but I was focusing more on the interior. I like doing these sorts of modern-ish looking exteriors for the tiny houses and then focusing a lot on the interiors. I like to do what I like for exteriors, make them look how I like them to look. Does that make any sense? And then just kind of doing different things with the interiors so that I feel like they fit with the different sort of careers that we're working on or decorating for, building for. For example, I remember when I did the detective one, I said something like in the voiceover that I was trying to make it look like they didn't really spend a lot of time at home, like try to make everything look nice and tidy, or not necessarily that, but that they just weren't home a lot, which is why it didn't look like it was super lived in, actually, because they haven't had the time at home to actually make everything messy. Something like that. So for this house, I was trying to have some fun with the color scheme. It was getting very experimental for a while, and then I decided that I didn't really like it, so I ended up changing it to something a little colder. I think when I started out making it very, still cold, but it was very black and dark gray and then yellow, which was looking a little bit harsh. So I ended up changing it to this lighter blue. It's very cold in the end, but I do like it. It's not so cold that it looks clinical, if that makes sense. I feel like if you make a lot of colder looking interiors, they often end up looking a little clinical, which is not my thing at all. Even though I'm not building for me ever, I always want to make sure that I like whatever I'm doing. Otherwise, I just don't feel right posting it. Because, I don't know, it's hard to see, if you are decorating in a style that you don't really like, for example, me doing Victorian, I can't actually tell if it's good because I'll just automatically not like it, because it's not a style that I'm particularly fond of. So, I always like to do interiors that, even though they're not necessarily my style, I still like the style, if that makes sense. So not a Victorian, because I don't, regardless if, if it's a style that I personally like for myself, or where am I going with this? I just don't like Victorian, but like stuff like a traditional interior I can deal with even though it's not my personal preference whatsoever. Does that make sense? Like I still have to kind of like the style that I'm decorating in. Otherwise, I don't really know if what I'm doing is any good or not, because all I'll see is just you, basically. So, but today, since we were decorating for an architect, I felt like something like a little bit of a sleeker kind of interior. So a lot of modern vibes, but just like a little bit of color here and there and kind of coldish. I felt like that would be fitting for an architect for some reason. I've never been in an architect's home, so I don't really know what they look like. This is just my interpretation of it, and also not all architects are the same anyway. They also have personal styles. This would probably fit one, but it wouldn't fit all of them, so you know, it's just a little bit of like a fun time, an interpretation, and whatever. So if you wanna see a tiny house inspired by some other career, whether it's in The Sims or not, let me know in the comments so that I can prepare some stuff. December is always a little bit of a stressful month when you do, well, it's stressful for everyone. I'll tell you specifically why it's stressful when you do YouTube. So I have 2 channels that I upload on regularly. I have a third that I try to upload on regularly, but it's hard to find time. And when you're going away for Christmas, you want to make sure that everything is just kind of like uploaded and everything beforehand, because I can't work when I'm in Copenhagen celebrating Christmas. I also shouldn't, because I'm supposed to take time off now and then. So, you know, preparing ahead of time when you already kind of do work day to day is tough. So it's just a little bit stressful like that, but still love my job, don't misunderstand me. But my point was, I'm gonna be pre-preparing. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm gonna be preparing a couple of videos over this month so that I can take just a few days off around Christmas time, because I won't be home to record anything. So if there's anything specific you'd like to see, let me know. Also, as for next year, I have been considering starting streaming again. So if any of those of you who have been asking are watching this video, I'm considering it. It's gonna be hard to fit it into my plans and everything, but I think we can do some recording builds on stream and make it work that way. I think it will be fun. I just want to try some other stuff as well, so I might do that, but it'll be over on Twitch because I'm still a Twitch affiliate, so technically I'm not allowed to stream on YouTube. It's a thing. Even though I don't think they come after me, but technically I'm not gonna break the rules, so that's just how it is. I don't want to get in trouble just in case they check. So it will be over on Twitch. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll also talk a little bit about it in some of the vlogs that I do over on my other channel, just in case something comes up. I generally just talk about a lot of different stuff in my videos, and then of course books, a lot of book talk. But yeah, just it's been on my mind. So if any of those, I can English today. I swear it was going great until I started this voiceover. Anyway, if any of you who have been asking or wondering, if there are any of you who are wondering without asking as well, it is on my mind. It is something that I'm considering doing. So just wanted to give you guys that update too. But it would be over on Twitch, just so you know, not YouTube. So anyway, so we are working on the bedroom. I actually used tulle a little bit throughout this house, which is not, I don't usually use it for furniture, I don't think, but scaling down stuff and maybe just precise, like if you have something that is very eager to cling on to a wall, for example, it's very handy to use tulle because you can move it without having to drag the item. And even though it's very finicky, like you have to do a lot of smaller number. There's a lot of, yeah, you have to do a little bit of thinking, and which I'm not great at all the time. So that's just how that is. But I decided to make a new headboard, for example, here with tulle. So I sized it down so that it would fit directly underneath the windows, which are 4 windows put on top of each, or not on top of each other, but like lined up with each other right here. And I decided also to use tulle to kind of move one of the headboard pieces, because it's actually a sign from Dine Out. So, and it clings onto the wall. It snaps onto the wall, which was super annoying. I didn't want to delete the wall, so I just used Tool to move it a little bit forward. And now we have a new headboard. I didn't feel like the wood tone of the headboard was fitting with the rest of the house because it's very gray, white, and black. So I decided to make a new one out of some signs from Dine Out. Oh my gosh, I can speak. So yeah, that's what I was doing there, but I don't generally use Tool for a lot of things. I just find it very handy for a few things here and there, such as the headboard thing, also just like sizing down stuff, scaling down stuff, so it's not stuck on the different steps or increments. Is that how you say that? You know what I mean. And also I decided actually to, so I delete the shower stall that I had right there, and I decided that I kind of had this feeling that the architect living in this house had a dog. I don't really know what kind of dog, maybe like a pug or Pomeranian or some other smaller, I don't want to call it designer pet, but you know what I mean, right? So one of those like French bulldog or something like that, one of those smaller ones that are super popular and probably super pricey. I kind of expected, or not expected, but imagine them to have a dog like that as well. So I decided to put some food bowls in, and also changed the shower stall with a bath and shower combo, so that of course the dog can be bathed because you need that. Cats take care of themselves in The Sims, but dogs don't really do that much. Actually, I feel like aside from the showering or the bathing with the dogs, for some reason I feel like cats actually require more attention in The Sims than dogs do. I don't really know what that's about because I'm pretty sure in real life it's the opposite. I wouldn't really know. I've only ever had dogs, so, or singular, well, 2 dogs. I've only ever had 2 dogs, not at the same time. So I don't really know. I've never had a cat, but I could imagine that if any of you cat people are out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but cats kind of do their own thing, don't they? Or am I just imagining that as well? I don't really know. I'm so sorry if I just majorly nudged the microphone. I talk with my hands when I do voiceovers. I can't control it. It would be so funny if I did like face cam while doing the voiceover, because I'm literally just waving my arms around like crazy when I talk. I don't know what that's about, but it's a thing apparently. So whenever I hit the microphone, sometimes I notice it, sometimes I don't. Anyway, that's a thing. So not really super happy with this backyard, but I had a very limited amount of space, and also I needed this platform right here because otherwise it would have been, I would have had some issues because the floor on the inside is taped up by like 3, so it's on a platform technically, so I needed to put a platform outside as well. I could have used a staircase, but it didn't really look right. So yeah, very narrow space in the backyard, but we're making do with what we got. They end up with both a nice little pool and also a grill, and there's also a dining table that can seat up to 4 people, so they can have guests over, or if it's just nice weather, they can sit outside and eat instead, because they technically don't really have a dining table indoors. They only have the bar counters, so I figured it would be important for them to have a proper dining table somewhere, even though it's on the outside of the house. So if it rains, maybe don't sit out there. If it snows, definitely do not sit out there. If there's a heat wave, make sure you got your summer clothes on before you go out there, but there's a dining table outside, so they can have guests over or just sit out there and chill if they want to. They can even take their laptop outside. So I also want to say that I know that thunderstorms in The Sims kind of have a tendency to ruin some furniture pieces, but I can't put roofing over every single furniture piece that I put outside. It just would end up looking super bad and messy, so that is something you're gonna have to figure out yourself. It's not something that I can fix when I build. It just wouldn't look right. Just wanted to point that out because it was mentioned in a comment a week ago or something, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't really know. Just so you know, it's not, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put roofing over every single furniture piece that I put outside, so just, yeah, FYI. But anyway, we are at the end of this video, so I'm gonna wrap up this voiceover now. If you like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT, and As always, the tray files can be found on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box, as well as in the pinned comment. If you want to check out my books channel or my lifestyle channel, it'll be linked to in the pinned comment as well. And that is all I got for you today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
We'll never figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground.